Hey, how you doing? My name's Anthony Gray. Welcome to another episode of Grayscale Painting. Alright, what I am going to do today is a gray toned painting at first, and then we're going to put color over that. So we're going to do a glaze painting, but we're going to do it right from step one. Alright, now my watercolor paper, 11 by 15 inch, I pre-wetted it with water twice, let it dry. Then I put vegetable glycerin and white craft paint mixed together, and that's on the page now. Alright, and the glycerin just helps the paint stay wet, and you can blend it easier because acrylic is notoriously fast to dry. Alright, so we'll be doing one stage. I'll come back later when it's totally dry, and then we'll do the glazing over of the painting. Okay, and I am going to start off with a sky. I think I'm going to use a fan brush just to start with for the sky with. Just get a whole bunch of wispy clouds and all different values of gray. You look down below, we just have two simple colors, just black and white. Alright, and we're going to keep the sky relatively light because there's going to be color over it. So we're going to just, keep the sky fairly light. You'll see the values once the color starts to be applied. So I'm going to use a lot of white paint, just a little touch of black. Just keep, once again, just keep the sky kind of light in value. Okay, so I'm going to just continuously use this white here. Like I say, once I put the color over it, you'll see the values come. Alright, and I'll just take the brush. I'm just holding the brush far away, and I'll start from the corner here, and I'll just kind of just tap some patterns in there. I'll probably fill most of the page with some of this color, or lack thereof. Let's say different values of gray. I'll swirl it around here, different shapes and values and such, much like what you see here. Not going in any particular order or whatever, just different little values and such. I'll go pretty far down on the page here. Alright. So we're going to work on the sky here. And the approach to doing the sky is you're just going to get different layers, so it looks like just a sky full of billowing clouds. Okay, I'm taking a soft brush, like a mop brush. All right, and I'll just take it circular motions. Now remember, I have glycerin and paint mix into the paper, and so I'm just swirling it around in different directions very lightly. I don't want all of what I've done all blended together, and I'm keeping the values relatively light because, once again, gray is a neutral color, and we want to utilize the tones in this gray. Just like so. Just like that. Very lightly, just put it in there. Okay. We're going to go a little darker, but not too much. Use the same brush. I'll just going to take a little bit of black, look down here, a little bit of black, and put it into the white gray mix that we have. So it's just slightly changing the value a little bit, and then we'll put some of that dark, some of that value up in here like this. So we're going to create a sense of depth, have it go across like that. Okay, I'm going to get a little bit more, go towards the corner, up in here. I have one kind of billowing down like this. Get a little touch more I'm just getting a touch more black. I guess I just want to change the value just a little bit. Just like that. Now I'll come across like this. All right, I won't more than likely use any more than that, because I don't want the values too great, too dark. Okay. And once again, I will take my brush. Now it's a different value. Okay. I don't want to destroy the value or overblend. Like I say, there will be colors that will be covering this. So you're just creating right now values. I'll keep it pretty low on the bottom. I'll cut off some of the bottom there. Don't want to get rid of, like I said, I don't want to overblend. Just like that. I'll keep, more or less keep it like this. All right. I got a Hake brush and I'm gonna blend all this together. Very light, very airy. Okay, just like that. We're gonna take a light Hake brush. Oh, I'll take the 3-inch one, and very lightly. See, the Hake brush very soft. All right, X strokes. You don't have to press too hard. It just blends everything together. Just like that. Okay, and I'll leave it be. I doubt I'll use the Hake brush for anything else, so I'm gonna rinse off my Hake brush real quick here. We're gonna start off with another value, and we're gonna block in a mountain real quick here. So I'm taking a number 11 flat brush. The value will be just a tad darker, not too much. I want the mountain to sort of blend a little bit in with the corresponding sky. Okay, so we're gonna run this quick little test here to see if I got a good value to do this. All right, no glycerin or anything like that in the paint, just regular paint, because the paint here is still wet, so you can kind of manipulate things. All right, and so I'll start with really craggy mountain up in here, something like that, and we'll get some interesting shapes happening here with this fella. And I'm doing it with a brush. I'll do it like that, and I'll block this fella in a little bit. All I want to do really is just block her in there. I might have it a little darker. We'll see as we go along here. Now remember, the white is going to mix in with this gray I have, and you vary your hand pressure depending on how much of this you want it faded. Okay, so I'll bring it down. I'll press a little bit here. Now the glycerin is starting to tack up a little bit, and it's fine. It's still blendable, as you can see. Still quite blendable. It's all right. This mountain will be pretty much in the background. Like I say, we're just building values, a whole bunch of values. I'm going to tighten up this one corner here. Just like that. Tighten up that top value there. And the rest can just fade out. All right. Take my flat 2-inch, because remember I still got white here. We're gonna fade this out. get that white, just blend it right in. Nice, blendable. Blend it right out really nice. It's like that. So it just appears to just come out of nowhere. Okay, all right. Okay, now values for the mountain. We can do some either light stuff, some dark stuff, something to give just a slight bit of texture to this fella. I don't want it to be totally silhouetted. All right. Okay, let's just take a flat brush. Look down here with me. I'll just point it down here. It's easier for you to see it here. All right. So we're going to take this nice little flat brush. We're going to establish, let's establish the dark half. Let's take a little bit of black, just a little bit. Mix it right in there, just like that. We're talking about values here. Just values, okay? That should be enough. That should be fine. Okay, and I'm using the side of the brush. No palette knife, just the side of the brush here. And we're going to zoom in. That's what we're going to do. So let's zoom in a little bit. Okay. Try to get that focus to catch there. All right. So we're going to concentrate on the dark half of the mountain. I usually end up making the dark half on the left-hand side. We'll put the dark half on the right-hand side today. Well, yeah, we'll do the dark half on this side. And we're going to take the side of the brush and we're just going to kind of pat in some texture here. Okay. I'm not going to overdo it. Come over here. I'll flip the brush around and let's get some texture going here. Keep it on one side. Get a little bit more. I'm just patting some of the darker color. That's all. Right up in here. And we're going to come on down this way. And we'll come further inward like that. And we'll bring it on down. Very light. So that's like that. All right. Come up on the other side here. We'll bring some downward here. Come in. And we have it come out. We'll have it meet right in here. Just like so. All right. We're gonna get a little bit of white. Same premise. We'll mix it in with this gray a little bit. Gotta get it a little bit lighter. Don't make it totally white. Won't be necessary as of this time. And we're gonna get to the light half of the mountain. And you're gonna go in the opposite direction, using the side of the brush still. And just gonna kind of shade some of that a little bit. Make it a little bit brighter. It's not bright enough actually. I don't need it to be ultra bright, but just like that, kind of establish more or less the peaks, the ledges of the mountain there. The ledges of the mountains would have the brightest amount of white, whether the sun's hitting it or it's snow. Wherever you might want it to be, I wouldn't know. You know, you can make your mountain any type of way you want. All right. As you see, I'm not putting too much on there, just a little hit here and there. And if anything, I'm kind of highlighting the ledges of the mountain there, up around in here. Kind of almost like a little hit and miss there. A little bit of white, a little more white. It's still mixed. I'm still mixing it in with the gray that's on there. Like I say, a little hit and miss here in certain spots. Right up in here, tap a little bit of that love in there, like that. Come out here, bring some of that out here. Not too much, not too much. Some bright spots where the sun is really hitting there. I don't have to have it look too detailed, but you'll understand it once I start adding in color a little bit later on in this taping. All right, no more than that, okay? Because like I say, a lot of this will be in color. You'll see. All right, okay. So we've pretty much more or less established this, okay, our background, so to speak. Let's get into putting some faraway trees in there. I guess I'll return back to a smaller fan brush to emulate that. I'll do a fan brush. Look down here with me, right here. All right, smaller fellow. We're gonna work with the white that we have. We're gonna put it in, mixing some gray here. Everything has to be a different value. I'm gonna get a little touch of black, put it in there. Okay, all paint. And what we're gonna do is like a little flicking motions with this fan brush, just to get some type of trees in here. Okay, and I'm going to go directly in, and I'll kind of pop them in there like this, just like that. These trees are far away, so we're getting some just like that, and I'm just tapping. I'm gonna get a little bit more. Actually, I'm gonna get a little bit of water and mix it in there. Don't need it too watery. Get a little black, add it in there, just a little bit. And still mixing in with the white. And slightly touch it, just to see those little patterns. It looks like faraway trees. We go up the mountain a little bit, come on down, and you can build your topography just like this. Bring it down a little bit, like in here. Scatter them a little bit. All right. We'll bring some up here and come on down like this. Bring it on downward. Get a little bit more paint. Light taps, light. Even though it appears to be black, it's not black. It's still a neutral color. Because when we put the green in there and such, you'll see what I'm talking about. We're gonna bring some up toward this way. Kind of make a big batch of them up around in here. Almost like a hill over here. Just like that. Put it right in there. All right. Up around in here, we'll kind of get some little hill thing going there. Right up around in this area. Spread it out a little bit. Get some more of the gray. And you just pop in a few groupings. Clever little groupings. There's some patches that are going to be pretty dark. Some patches are going to be pretty light. Just little groupings. Spread the land outward now. Nice little outcrop of land. Purely tones of gray. All right. Okay. Let's throw in another batch of trees. These will be yet a little darker. Let's bring the camera down a little bit. Okay, because we're gonna do these in slight little layers here. We're gonna get some white, pop the white in there. Look down here. Each layer is a little darker than the other, okay? Just a little darker than the other. Still values of gray. But it's got to be light enough where, you know, some of the color can still come through. So I'm being very choosy, very careful, picking my tones of gray here. Okay. And you can see the different values here on the palette. All right, these trees are a little far off. We'll get a nice little grouping of these guys right up around in this area here. I'm just gonna pop them in there just the way you see me do them right now. Alter. Now you see why there's different shades of gray here. All right, paint through your painting also. Paint right through it. Some are a little taller. Some are a little spaced out. Some are spaced out a little more, I should say. I'm getting some more of the color, just mixing some more. Maintain that, still that grayish value, just a little darker, a little bit. And we're just getting different values and shapes of the trees. Now as I move further down the page here, my arm is being I'm twisting my arm a little bit, so I'll just use my other hand and start continuing. And they were starting to look lopsided, so I had to straighten out that lopsided look. And as you see, I'm just coming on down with it. Okay, still gray. Remember, there's still shades of gray in there. All right, just like that. Bring it on down there. I'm bringing down some of that color. Got to get a little buffer. So a little further down. But as you see, it just looks like a ton of trees there. Just like that. Slowly building your value system and slowly building the scene as we're coming forward. Follow me? All right. Okay. Interesting little buffer we have there. So let's put in a cute little fog bank in there. We'll take the same wide brush we had before in the number 11 flat. Let's aim the camera downward just a tad here, about down there. Interesting little fog bank we're gonna have here. All right. Now this paint is, even though it's starting to dry, I'm just taking the paint itself, I'm just blurring out the bottoms. Just gonna soften some of that edge there. Because some of the glycerin, most of it is dry down here on the bottom by now, but as you can see, the paint can still be manipulated a little bit. Just a little bit of blending of some of that bottom, just like that. We're going to take a little bit of that white. Now remember, the glycerin is still a little tacky down there, so it's nothing but pure white right now. It's going to mix in with that brown. I'm using the side of the brush. I'm going down well below, because then I can just kind of see how you just fade it up in there, fade it into the trees in various heights. All right, so pay attention to how I'm doing this. Side of the brush, a little bit of white. I'm going down below first, then I go up into the trees. Don't make them all the same value. Okay, just like that. Different values. I'm turning the brush over and just getting a little touch of white paint. Very important, side of the brush. Side of the brush. I'm just using the side of the brush. Different heights, different values of the white, which is now mixing in with the black that's on there, or the gray. You got this little tones of gray in there. All right. I'm going to use some more white, and I'm just going to go down below, just blend all of this down below here. Softer blend, just make it as close to the white of the paper as you can. That's all. I'm just getting rid of the little residuals of gray. So just slightly blend it in there a little bit. Just like that. This type of blending, you can also blend clouds the same way. All right. Now you can see just different layers of mist or whatever in there. All different layers. Remember, this is going to be saturated with color here. Glazed color. All right. Okay. Very fun painting to do. I think this will make it a very interesting class project. All right. Okay. So we have, you know, a few things happening here with our values. This pan back us a little bit. I'll show you here, and I'll go back up here. Sorry about that. Whipping it around on you a little too much. Just pan back there. So it brings in most of the picture here. Okay, this will be good right about here. All right. So we've established our cloud play. Once they're all faded in, and you're using the white of the paper to represent most of the sky, you got some of the darker clouds there. All right, we have our mountain, not too dark, not too intrusive. All right, you got little bits of detail. Okay, then you got our almost like little foothills there, still a little bit of rocky outcrop there. Okay, then we got our thicker forest, a little more in the mid-ground there. And then we got our fog bank here, and you pretty much put whatever you would like to put within there, that fog bank. Okay. All right, let's go back down. We're gonna zoom back in here. Usually I will put more trees in there, but we'll do something a little different today. All right. Once again, let's do the number 12 flat brush. Look down here. You should see it right there. So number 12 flat. So still a nice sized brush. All right. Okay. A little darker this time. A little more black now. Come right in here with the rest of that gray. Mix it in there because it's not totally black. It's still gray. All right. We're gonna block in some land, but I'm gonna block in the land right around in this area. I'm gonna block it in, give it a look grassy look there. But right now I'm just blocking in some land here, and then I'll just kind of. All right. So the land's almost pretty much kind of straight there, and that's fine. I'm going to still keep it in this pat type of motion. Why am I doing it in this pat type of motion, even with those sort of dark gray? Well, I'm still establishing some type of land, some type of grass. I don't have to necessarily block everything in. You can have little bits of the shades of the white of the paper if you would like. It's okay. Everybody has a different approach to it. This is just mine. And if it gets lighter, that's okay. Just like so. I don't have to completely block and cover everything. I can reshape that land a little bit there. Just to maintain a little interest, maybe one side, as you can see, is a little higher than the other. Doesn't have to be extreme. Okay. Not necessarily. Still gray. Even though it appears black, it's not black. Trust me. Get a little bit of white. I'll come over here and look at where I'm at here. I'm gonna still use this brush. I'm gonna open up the brush a little bit, open up the bristles. So we'll establish some light patches of whatever. Right up around here. Let's start from here. About here, like that. Make them interesting little groupings, like this. And we can come over here and add some of that there, like that. And we'll come over here on the edge here, pop in a few. Let's put a few of those up in there like that. And I'm just doing groupings of grass stuff, just like that. I'll go a little bit lighter in some spots there, just for variety's sake. It is in tones of gray. Just interesting little groupings of brightness there. All right, come on in here, pop in a few. Let's get some bright patches up there near the top, just like that. We'll kind of smooth some of those out a little bit. Just some varying touches of gray. I'm just tapping the brush like that. All right, okay. Usually in some of my paintings, I would put a giant tree, and not really necessary all the time to put some big boisterous tree in the mix. All right, I am going to put one in there. I'll probably put one around in here somewhere. So what we're going to do is pull back a little bit. Let's go upward. All right, I'm trying to make sure that it would be the proper size there. I'm gonna probably more or less use this brush, unless I can find something a little thicker that I can manipulate a little bit. I don't seem to find one that will suit me. Yes, I do. I did find one. I got one. We're gonna use this fella over here. This is a 1-inch brush. And what I'm gonna do with this brush, I'll put it down here. Look down here. With this fella here, what I'm gonna do is get some black. Now this requires a little more paint. I'm gonna put it right in here. I get a touch of white, but I am going to really saturate this brush with some paint. Heavy paint, a lot of paint. You see me twisting the brush back and forth. Okay. Actually, I need more paint. This technique of making a pine just requires a lot of paint. I'm gonna show you what the brush is gonna look like with all this paint caked up on it. Okay, and you see it comes to a kind of a little edge there. Not perfect, don't need to be perfect. All right, we'll do it right up around here. I'm gonna take this brush, saturate it tightly with paint here. Okay, and I'll put a nice little tree of some sort right here. I'm gonna just give it a little tap right there. All right, and I'm gonna kind of move to the left and to the right like this. I probably will make this tree much darker because you won't be able to see it. Just like so, and I'll spread it around in here somewhere. All right, it has to be actually much darker gray, and I'm gonna make a much darker gray so it can be seen against everything else. So a little darker gray, same thing. As you can see, I'm not getting rid of. See, I want the middle to be a little thicker, just like that. And you know, bring it on out there, just like that. So you got one there. Yeah, so we got one lonely little tree, just chilling out, just hanging out and doing its own thing. All right, I feel like putting another one there, but I think this will do. Okay, maybe I'll just have that one. Okay. As far as, painting is concerned, I think I just about completed it. I really don't need too much. All right, but I did need thicker paint for this guy. Okay, and remember, this is going to be filled with color. Filled with color. So, and and it's going to be a fairly amount of glaze or whatnot in this painting. All right. Okay, I'm gonna do something a little different too that you haven't seen me do too much of. I should do a lot more of what I'm about to do, but you know, all depends on what you're thinking at the time, and what your plans are, or what you would like to do. All right, now this is pretty much out wilderness scene, nobody around but some bears and elk or whatever, what have you. But as soon as you put a man-made object in there, it changes things. All right, then it's become like government land or some kind of posted property or whatever. It's just an unnatural structure in nature's creation. All right, just taking some kind of ownership, more or less. All right, I'm gonna get a little bit of water. I'm taking a script liner here. I'm gonna freehand this. All right, so hopefully I made enough. I gotta get to somewhat of an inky consistency. If you're looking down here, I'm twirling the brush around. All right, now from what I'm gonna show you, you move your whole arm, don't move your wrist. Okay, and I'm gonna put it right here in the fog bank. So let's move in a little bit. Let's put it right about there. You guys can see it. Let's pop on that focus real quick. And here we go. Right, we'll do it around here. We'll come up around here. It's just a freehand thing. I'm slowly twirling the brush around. There's paint on the other side. Just like this. I'm gonna stop because I feel the paint leaving. You need a pretty decent line. And we're gonna just continue the line there. We're gonna go up with the land. Okay, just like that. Much like that. And once again, if somebody's property, we'll start from over here. You can gauge how large you want your fence to be, depending on the posts. If they're spaced kind of far apart or closer together, you can also judge how far the fence is. All right. Now remember, I'm thinking still in terms of this whole project will be glazed over, so it will not look the way it looks when finished. Some of the posts are a little crooked, some of them are a little straighter, add a little variance. Some of them are a little worn out. All right, just like so. All right, it just looks like somebody's posted fence, posted land there, like they're blocking you from the valley and the mist below. Might be one heck of a creek down there. You just don't know. I'm gonna put another post here, a little long one here, right here. That one's a little low. Some of it comes below that land, kind of sneaks back up here, just like this. It hides again. There's a hill, and it slowly comes back up here, just like that. All right. So it's not perfect. Some of it being hidden. Some of it's being hidden. The lay of the land isn't exactly perfect. Okay. All right. I don't have to add any highlights to the picture. Right. I have to wait till this totally dries Okay, it's nothing but a screen transition for you guys, but I have to wait a minute, a minute or two to continue on with the painting. But this is it, totally black and white. All right, various shades or tones of gray. One lonely tree, got a field, you got a man-made beat down fence. Okay, and as of right now, that's all we need. Okay, once this has to be fully, totally dry. Now remember, I used glycerin and paint, so it's going to take a little while for it to kind of cure a little bit and dry. All right, so if you're working in this fashion, in this style of painting, and you're using glycerin, you're doing a painting like this where the rest of the painting will be series of glazes, you have to have this totally dry in order to continue on. So I will be back and we'll continue on. Well, welcome back. Like I said, it's a quick transition. It's all dry. Okay, we're centered. A thin coat of glycerin is all we need. Glycerin helps the paint move around better, blend. It stays a little wet longer. I use acrylic paint, heavy body acrylics. Okay, now remember, a thin coat now, and we're just gonna coat this whole thing very thin. The whole deal very thin, because we're gonna glaze all of this. Very thin coat. I can borrow some here and bring it all the way down. Like I said, this has to be totally dry to do this. Okay, very thin coat. Just like that. And that's it. The rest is essentially a coloring book. All right, I'm gonna use the same brush. Now, if you look down below, I have white, phthalo blue, Grumbacher red, and a little bit of yellow. Okay, and we're gonna do a nice little haze of color. And actually, what I'm going to also incorporate is a little bit of, just a small bit of brown. Now that's too much. I won't be using that much brown. But I'm going to add a little bit of brown into the yellow, because in case I use blue, it's not going to turn entirely green in the sky. I got a little tip of brown on the brush here. Get quite a bit of yellow here. And just, you need more yellow than the brown. Okay, and I may put a little white in there just to strengthen more or less that yellow. Okay, now remember, this is going to be a glaze. All I use is a little bit of brown in that yellow to kind of neutralize that yellow, so stuff won't turn blue on us. Will you tell that there's brown in it? Not really, compared to the other colors that would be put in it. Okay. And here we go. It is just this simple. Watch. Just this simple. Just move it. Go over the mountain and everything. Don't worry about the tree. Don't worry about the tree at all. Just like this. We're gonna go right over that mountain with this same color. Nice little glaze over the whole thing. Okay, and it sets the mountain back a little bit there, and the surrounding areas back here. So we'll go as far as the foothills. Now, if I want to intensify it a little bit, you can also do that. Get a little bit of white. You can intensify the color. It's okay. And I'll just intensify what we got here. It sets everything back. Don't worry, you'll still see bits and pieces of stuff as it starts to dry. Okay, so have no fear. Don't worry, cover right over the tree. Okay, just like so. We're gonna get a little bit, and I mean a little bit. Look down here, a little bit of red. Let me put it in there a little bit. We add a little bit of some of that kind of sunlit color there. Put a little bit in here like that. Come over here a little bit. I don't necessarily have to put it in the mountain, just a little bit in the clouds there. Just like that. See how you can just sneak little bits and pieces of color in there. Okay. And just wiping back and forth, just back and forth, getting rid of whatever streak marks that might be in there. Okay, but just like that. Oh, I'll slap a little bit of that in here on this side too. You can go over the mountain a little bit with it. It's okay. Just like so. Like I say, essentially the rest of this painting will more or less be like a coloring book. Okay. All right. We're going to throw in a wee bit of blue in here, and I'll show you how I'm going to do that. Take a little blender brush. Just trying to find one real quick here. It'll give me a little second here. Oh, I got a nice tiny one I want to use here, so I'm just searching around for it. The one I'm looking for, there it is. Little fella. I'll show it to you on the bottom screen. This little guy right here. We're gonna get a little touch of blue, just a little touch, just like that. Okay. I'm gonna take that little bit of blue, and right where it's dark gray at, I'm gonna just add little pats here and there, just like this. Okay. Some in here, up in the corners there, just like that. Oh, I'll throw in a little bit in here, just to emulate a little bit of the sky. Okay. Just like that. I'm wiping off the rest on my brush. I'm gonna take that blue, and we're just gonna kind of fade it around here and there. It's gonna look like the sky in between. And as you can see, it's not turning green on us because of that brown. Follow me? Okay. And you can have it at any concentration you really want. And that's all I'm doing. I'm varying the hand pressure and just having a little fun with all of this. Just like that. I always wanted a little more depth in the corners there. Okay. Do the same thing up in this corner. Bring it around, bring it all up in here. Vary your strokes, vary your hand pressure. Okay. Like I say, it's essentially like coloring in a coloring book. Just like that. I'm going over the tree and all. It's okay. See what that little bit of brown will do? It keeps that yellow, the illusion of that yellow anyway, in the sky. See, you can really have a ball with this and create whatever type of scenery you're looking for. This is your world. Do as you see fit. All those gray tones, it's just adding to the values. You've already placed the values in. Okay, you're just letting the color work for you now. It's just like that. All right. If you would like, you take a hake brush, light hake brush, and you just softly just kind of blend all that in. Incorporate it right into the painting. People will be asking you, how did you do this? And it'd be our little secret. Just like so. Just very light strokes. All right. Okay. All right. We're gonna move this right on along. Take a, I guess I can take a little bit of, well, if I wanted to, I could take a little bit of white and kind of add that in there if I wanted to, but I don't think that really would be necessary. We'll keep the back in the back there. Okay, so that won't be necessary. I am going to clean off my brush real quick, my tiny little brush here, in case I need it. I'll put it where I can just easily get to it here. All right. Okay, let's get to those trees here, because that's where the separation of everything is going to be. The trees and everything this way will be a little more forward. All right, a little more vivid, I should say. All right, I'll take a flat brush. I'll show it to you here on the bottom screen. All right, let's take a little bit of that blue. Let's get some yellow. pop it in with that right in here, just like this. And we're gonna lightly, I'm gonna take a little bit of glaze here into this green. All right, now all up around in here, we'll zoom in a little bit so you guys can check this out. Because like I said, things will get a little more vivid now. So all we're gonna do basically is follow that pattern with that green. As you can see, it kind of sticks out. And you're just tapping it in there. You want the shades of your green to show through. Make sure some of that yellow makes an appearance through your tapping of that green. Just like so, look at that. Okay, bring a little bit of it down in here, just like that. I'm wiping off my brush because we're gonna just lightly kind of mist it into that, put it into the mist a little bit, just like that, very lightly, just like so, very lightly. I'm gonna put that in there. I'm going to add some white. Look down here, the tiniest, and I mean the tiniest dot of blue, just a tenth of white a little bit. And I'm going to add more white. I'm just move over here, get more white. It's got tints of blue in it. Okay. This is more like a dry brush because I'm going to wipe some of it on my towel. Okay. And lightly kind of glaze over. I'm using the side of the brush. I just want to tint a little bit of my fog very lightly, light pressure. Don't matter if you go over the fence a little bit. Matter of fact, let's bring this down there. You can see what I'm doing here. Okay, very lightly. Bring it into the green just a little bit. Okay. Don't worry about the fence the fence is dark anyway. So you don't have to worry about that. Now you don't necessarily have to have it this blue. Okay. If it's a little too blue greenish for you, you add a little more white. All right. So I'm going right into the white here, using the side of the brush. And I can brighten up little bits and pieces here and there. A little bit of white, just a little slight touch of white. Side of the brush. Okay, just like that. Circular motions. You want to vary your hand pressure. You make things very interesting here. All up to you. Okay. Just like that. All right. So you got some nice fog working in there into your trees. All right. Remember that background back there, everything's going to remain pretty much that type of yellowish tint back there, overcast brightness back there. All right. Okay, as you see, the fence still remains kind of dark there. Let's work on some of that grass there. Now the grass, we're going back into our glaze here. I'm going to dip a little bit of glaze into the green here. Okay, because I just want a light glazing of the grass. I'm going to get a little bit more blue just to deepen that color. And I'm going into my little bit of glycerin here. And very lightly on what we have here, just see, lightly, just like a coloring book, just lightly cover it all in there. Okay, it's just you still get your values. Remember, this is a dark, deep gray, which is why the green is showing through this a little bit. Okay, get a little bit of yellow. I'm not adding anything to the yellow, just the yellow, just to brighten it up a little bit. Now yellow is a transparent color, so I don't really need glycerin for this yellow. It's already transparent. See? And right now all that yellow is just picking up bits and pieces of all those values of that dark gray that is in there. All right, it won't even look like you have any kind of tints of gray in it because of the glaze. Yellow is a neutral color, or excuse me, gray is a very neutral color, so you can put stuff on top of it and on top of it and on top of it. Okay, that's what I'm saying here. All right, so we'll rinse off the brush real quick. We'll throw in some nice little highlights real fast on this part. We'll get a small fan brush. Let's go into a little bit of white. I'm going into, look down here, I'm going into the green that I previously put in there. I get a little bit of yellow. Okay. And a little bit of blue. Kind of bring that back. It's still going to be a brighter green. Okay. And right in here, we're going to throw in little bits. So we just reinforce what we've put down before. Remember the groupings. Just like that. Remember the groupings. Okay. Up here around the edge here, we'll add a little bit. You don't have to add too much. Trail it right off. Put some up in here. You can have them shaped any way you would like. This is your world. Do it any way you see fit for your painting. Okay, you can follow the template, but you can arrange it any way you would like. All right. If I made a copy of this and put it on everybody's easel and then tell them to have at it, everybody would follow the same template, but it would be different. Okay, everybody has their own little niche, their own little nuances of how to do certain things. Okay. All right. And since I'm already at it, let's take a little bit of red. Why not? Tiny bit of white in that red, just to give it a little bit of a pop here. And we'll put some little wildflowers in there. Okay, just a few. Sometimes right on top of the green, just pop them in there like this. See this? Kind of tame stuff a little bit. Right here, put some up in here like this. Put a couple of them back here, just like that. Put some up, kind of come around in here a little bit, around the edge, just like that. Not too many of them. You kind of join them together a little. Okay, little subtle things. Subtle. All right, let's go with our tree here. So we'll just raise up a little bit here. We'll bring a tree up here. And we're gonna pull back just a little bit there. Bring the total tree in. We'll put it right about here. We're gonna use that very same brush. If I can find it. You would figure I have these brushes readily handy. I put them away and then I forget where I placed them. Where's that little fella? Incredible. You know, the sad thing is I know it's around here. And it's probably right in front of my face and I just really don't see it. And it is, like I say, more than likely right in front of my face, and I'm probably looking right at it and don't see the thing. Nope, I don't see it. So we're gonna use a substitute since I don't see the brush. And watch when I'm done with the painting. It'll be sitting there waving at me like I've been here all that time. Because to be honest with you, I really don't see where I place my brush. It's the 1-inch brush. 1-inch window trim brush. That I know I have and I can't find. I truly can't find the thing. Ah, there it is. Like I said, in front of my face. Okay, so we're gonna mess with this tree. Okay, we're going to not necessarily use any glycerin at all. I am going to get some yellow, because remember, this type of tree does take a little bit of paint. So I'll get a little bit of yellow, a little bit of blue. Make a nice little dark color out of here. And I'm gonna cake it up fairly well. This should be enough for it. Okay, I'm gonna start right here. And same premise, get a little touch in there. I'm not gonna get rid of all that dark. You need that dark. And we're just gonna kind of spread it right out there. Just like that. Don't get rid of the dark. Kind of sparse right there. And let's get your pine tree in there. All right. I'm gonna take a little bit of white. I'm gonna put it in what little bit of yellow I do have left. And we're gonna get some highlights in that guy. We're gonna keep the highlights pretty much toward the left-hand side. Just like this. You know, you can pop some on the other side, but basically you're gonna kind of keep it flowing on the right-hand side. Just like that. Like I said, you can pop a little bit on the other side, but it's mainly going on that area. All right. Okay. And believe it or not, we're almost finished with this. Like I said, you can add as much detail as you feel you may need to for your painting. Okay, this is how I'm representing mine. I'm looking at it still. See if I need to put anything else really in there. And I don't feel I need to truly add anything else. I'm gonna put my brush back in the same spot where I know I'm gonna misplace it. Okay. I'm gonna take a little bit of this brown, since I already have it out here anyway. I got plenty of it. I might as well use some of it. So I'm gonna use some of this brown to get a little bit of white, lighten up the brown just a little bit. All right. And we're gonna highlight that fence a bit. So let's zoom in a little. And we're gonna bring it down here, right at the edge of that fence. Okay. And I'm just gonna take this brown very lightly, just like I did before, and I'm twirling my brush around a little bit. Now this brown has water in it, so some of that dark is gonna show through that, and it's okay. I'll just twirl the brush around. I'm gonna get a little bit more. I'm moving my whole arm when I do this. So I'm gonna come around here, get a little bit there. I'm twirling my brush as I do this. All right, I'm getting some more of that light brown color. Twirling my brush around. Come over here, and we're gonna add just like that. This is a nice, simple little craft project that I think many people can emulate. Very simple. It is a two-step process. The black and the white, you know, shades of gray. Get a little bit more. If you want it a little more transparent, just add a little water to the brown to get some of that dark to show through. All right, just like that. And once again, even that little bit, it just brings everything forward a little bit more. All right. So I'm looking at the total thing. I know you're looking at the zoomed up fence and everything. I'm looking at everything totally, just to see that, you know, everything is pretty much on the up and up for it. I probably could add another tree because it is kind of open, but I think I'm going to leave it just like that. Very, very short and sweet. I'm going to add my little signature here. I'll put it somewhere up here real quick here. I would like to thank you for watching this little tutorial. Not too long-winded. Something quick. I think relatively easy. There we go. For you, I'll whack a frame on it real fast here. So let's pull back here. Let's throw the brown one on first. I might have to place my little inside frame. But anyway, this is what it will look like with the brown frame there. All right. You place it wherever you feel you need to. But that's what it looks like with the brown frame. Okay, see how it kind of closes everything in there, brings it all together. All right, but here it is with the black frame. Okay, and it frames it in. You know, you can put it where you feel you need to be. My signature would be pretty much right here, like this, because this is the actual size of the paper. Okay. So it would be like that, but you can kind of move it any way you want, you know. Okay, all right. I didn't necessarily had to add the blue in the sky at all. It's just something I wanted to just put in there. You can even put white in there, but if you start doing stuff like that to the sky, you would have to kind of put the mountain out there a little bit. Really your choice, but I've got the yellow brown. Pretty much doing all that work with the tones and such. All right, and then kind of set that mountain back there. Your foreground and your midground is kind of more vivid, more out there. All right, okay dokie. Well, this is Anthony Gray of Grayscale Painting. Hope you enjoyed this short little tutorial. I would love to see your rendition of it. Like I said, it's a two-step process. Do it all in gray, tones of gray first, even the clouds, everything. Do it in gray, then whatever medium you have, extender or retarder that you have, you just make a glaze. If you don't have glycerin, like I use, then use whatever extender that, for acrylic paint that you have, and you'll pretty much achieve the same results or even better, depending on how much detail you want to put it in and how far you want to go with it. Until next time, I'll see you when I see you. Peace.